Béla Guttmann is not your typical football coach. There are two quotes that have become legends and have proven to be correct. The first is about the time spent at work. Guttmann believes coaches should not stay in one place for too long. If there is such a thing, the Hungarian national figure is concerned that winning achievements will be difficult because of the increasing challenges. The coach can work calmly in the first season. The second period is more challenging. While the third campaign is disastrous, he stated. Guttmann's assessment proved correct. José Mourinho frequently slumped in his third season as manager of several teams. Pep Guardiola was also exhausted after being in charge of Barcelona for an inordinate amount of time. Guttmann practiced the philosophy himself. Since becoming a coach in 1933, he has only worked for 17 clubs for a maximum of 2 years. AC Milan, São Paulo, and SC Porto were among the big names he worked with. Guttmann finally arrived at the Estádio da Luz in 1960 to take over as manager of SL Benfica. In his first season, Guttmann led Benfica to the title of Portuguese champions. He also assisted as ๊ɡutmʒn in winning the Champions Cup, the forerunner of the Champions League. After Real Madrid dominated the first 5 editions, Benfica became the second club to dominate Europe. This accomplishment served as his capital in the subsequent campaign. Despite losing the league title, Benfica won the Portuguese Cup. Guttmann also presented the second Champions Cup title successfully. Mario Coluna, José Aguas, and, of course, Eusébio were his mainstays. In the 1962 Champions Cup final against Real Madrid, the Black Panthers scored twice and led his team to a 5-3 victory. Guttmann was persuaded by the feat to stay at Benfica for the third season. He did, however, request the bonus promised by management for his achievements. However, Benfica's board of directors reneged. Guttmann then cursed Benfica. Nobody knows what he said exactly. Many argue that he condemned as ๊ɡutmʒn they would not be European champions for the next 100 years. Guttmann then resigned, claiming that Benfica no longer required his services. How accurate is that assumption? Benfica reached the finals of several European competitions, including the Champions Cup, 1963, 1965, 1968, 1988, 1990, and the UEFA Cup, Europa League, 1983, 2013, 2014, but lost each time. Eusébio tried to change this luck by visiting Guttmann's grave, which was buried in Vienna, before the 1990 Champions Cup final. In the same city, Benfica would face AC Milan. Eusébio prayed and begged his former coach to break his oath there. The effort was not fruitful. Frank Rijkaard's goal put Benfica down 1-0. Despite the club's domestic dominance, Guttmann's curse still haunts Benfica's psychology when competing in Europe. This season, they were even eliminated from the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Guttmann kept working until 1973. In 1965, he returned to Benfica to coach the team. However, Guttmann could not replicate his success. Benfica finished second in the Portuguese League and was eliminated in the quarterfinals of the Portuguese Cup and Champions Cup. He then left and took over as manager of the Swiss club Servette. The Curse of Benfica is just one of the fascinating stories from Guttmann's life, which ended in 1981. He had to flee his homeland because of anti-Semitism, promoted by Hungarian leader Miklós Horthy. Guttmann subsequently fled to the United States. To survive in Uncle Sam's land, he also taught dance, opened a bar, and invested in the stock market. Guttmann nearly lost his entire fortune in the 1929 Wall Street crash. In 1932, Guttmann returned to Europe to train. When Nazi Germany invaded Hungary, he took refuge in the attic of his brother-in-law. Guttmann was apprehended and sent to a concentration camp. He escaped before being sent to Auschwitz in December 1944. His father Abraham, older sister Sharon, and his extended family did not escape and were killed there.